What's going on, everyone? We are back and we're gonna be talking about what could be my favorite Samsung phone of all time. Now that's a big thing to say, and I'm gonna tell you this right now, Samsung's not paying me to say that. These are my thoughts and my thoughts only. We are here to talk about the Galaxy Fold. We've had it for a couple weeks. I've been using it and I have really, really enjoyed it. But let's talk about the design and go through some of the specs and the overall usage of the phone and final thoughts. First, design. Now, when you see the photos of the Fold, you might think that it's a very chunky device. And from some reviewers that I've watched the videos as well, they say, oh, it's very bulky, very big. It's not as big as you might think it is, okay? My first impressions when I had it in my hand was like, wow, it's actually quite narrow and quite slim. It's heavy, it's a heavy device because it's theoretically basically two phones sandwiched into one, but it feels so premium, like a high-end luxury device. Like, remember the Virtu phones back in the day? I mean, they're no longer around, but you know they were like $10,000, $20,000 for a phone, and they're like, wow, you hold this thing? The Galaxy Fold has that feeling to it. It is so luxurious in the hand. You just want to hold it delicately. You don't want to like be throwing this thing around, and you can't because it is somewhat delicate, but still, it really feels good. You've got, a display on the front, which is, not the largest display, but it's great enough for seeing your information or typing out a message. The back is glass as well, wireless charging on this. It looks beautiful. Now, in terms of the display, once you open it up, that's where the magic happens. Some of the changes, of course, that Samsung did is they put this bezel around the frame where they have this plastic kind of coating, which is part of the display. They hide that so you can't tear it off. It's not some sort of screen protector. And I'm glad they did this, and I love the fact that it's a flat display. There's no waterfall edges, there's no slippage. It feels very secure and it's flat and it's beautiful to use. The touch it's precise, it feels great. I can't say enough about the design of this phone. But I will tell you this right now, it is a fingerprint magnet. But Samsung does include these carbon fiber covers in the package, which alleviates that, and I applaud them for that. Thank you, Samsung, and they look really good on the phone. Now we're gonna move around, look at the buttons, of course. We've got our power button, we've got the volume rocker button, we've got a fingerprint sensor. Basically, that you see this on previous Samsung devices. Use your thumb, you can recognize your fingerprint. It works easily. No issues at all with that. The one thing that you might be worried about on this, of course, is the hinge, because it is a foldable display. Now, Samsung has gone through a lot of work to make sure that this works correctly. And their marketing, they say that it's like designed like a mechanical watch. And I love how it is just snappy. It's magnets to it. It feels really, really good when you use the display and the hinge. It feels so good. I am really impressed by this device just by holding it and using it and feeling it. One of the key things about of course, when using it is the front display on this. Now, it's not large. If you see right here, it's not edge to edge, it's not bezel-less at all. It's enough for me to see what I need to see, and then if I really need to get into my phone, I can open it up, but it works well, it's clear, it's vibrant, great display by Samsung, no issues at all. All right, let's go through some of the specs on the Fold. It's a Snapdragon 855, it's not the 855 Plus, it's the 855, it's the same that's in the Note 10, Note 10 Plus, the S10, the S10 Plus, and therefore. Memory, 12 gigabytes of RAM. You have 512 gigabytes of storage. No micro SD storage in this one. The screen size, 4.6 inches on the front, 7.3 inches on the inside or the back, or however you want to put it. Resolution on the front is 1680 by 720, but inside the big display is 2152 by 1536. USB-C, Bluetooth 5.0, battery, 4,380 milliamp battery on this. You're gonna love it. Battery life, solid day, no issues, probably a day and a half depending on your usage on it. The weight of it is 263 grams, so it's not the lightest device, but then again, it's basically two phones into one, and it's running Android 9.0 Pie, which I'm sure they will update to 10.0 later on when they have the software available for it. So those are the specs out of the way. What is it like to use the Fold? Now, this is what was very interesting to me because a lot of people have been shunning it like, well, it's neither here nor there. The size is a little bit odd. It's this. I think that the Fold represents the next generation we're going to see in devices. Now, we are seeing a convergence. We're seeing from tablets to laptops. We're seeing smartphones getting larger. We're now seeing the tablet becoming the smartphone with the Fold. This is a unique device in the sense that it is the beginning of the next phase. Foldable displays are not going anywhere. They're going to continue to go on, and they're going to become more robust, more durable. They're going to be more, there's just going to be a lot more things happening with them. But I have to applaud Samsung for this because they've done a great job in terms of this cohesiveness that they've created in this device, from using the front display, opening it up, and there's your content right there. Or you can go vice versa, which it's not turned on by default. You have to go inside the menu to turn that on, but you can open up, look at, say, watching a YouTube video, close the phone, set it down there, and the YouTube video will continue to play. You can do this with websites as well, but sometimes the information, it gets jumbled up, obviously, because of screen resolution and its size. You might have to refine the information you're looking at on a website. Not a deal breaker, but just something you need to take note of. But for the most part, most of the apps, the Samsung apps by default, will transfer over to the smaller display, no issues at all. There was this nice satisfaction about, I pick up the phone, I get a message, or I get a phone call, or whatever the case is. I can respond to this display. It's not that small where you don't have a problem responding to it. The keyboard is great. It recognizes my touches, no issues at all. But if I want to open it up to get into my content, I'm there. And then when I'm done, that satisfying click means I'm done with the phone. I put it away. And I find myself not looking at my phone so much because I don't need to. You know what I mean? There's this something psychological aspect to this where you close the phone, you're done with it. And it's nice, it's refreshing. And I mean, it kind of brings you back to those clamshell phones we had back in the day, from Motorola and Samsung and various different companies. It has that same attribute to it. Of course, it's a lot larger, but it works well. And the multitasking that's on this phone, I mean, you're not opening up you can open up multiple windows in it. You can keep going and going and going because there's a lot of memory in this device. I mean, more windows than you'll have the capabilities of actually using back and forth. You'll have to start moving things around, but it works really, really well. And there's no jittery, there's no stuttering in it. It's smooth. You can resize the windows however you want. You can place them where you want on the display. It is multitasking at its best. Samsung they've done a great job with this with the Note series, and we're seeing it on steroids basically with the Galaxy Fold. Volume, the sound out of these speakers is fantastic. It is very loud. If you want to listen to watch movies or play games, you're going to be very happy with it. Having said that though, where the speakers are placed, you're going to have to find the right positioning with your hands. So if I'm holding it, let's say with the camera bump down, it's great. My fingers are not getting in the way if I'm playing a game. The speakers are up here on the top. But if I'm holding it like this where the cameras are on top, my hands will cover the speakers a little bit. So you do have to take note of how you want to hold the device when you're in landscape mode. But of course, if you're in portrait mode, there's no issues at all. And I actually use it this way most of the time, unless I'm watching a movie or gaming. Browsing the web is fantastic. There's a lot of real estate there to play with. It's clear, it's legible. The screen is high resolution, no issues at all. In terms of the crease, you might be wondering, how is the crease? It's like a notch. After 5 minutes, you don't even look at it anymore. You're like, okay, it's there, no big deal. You don't even think about it twice. It doesn't get in the way of seeing any of my content. I like it. Now, there are some things you need to know of in terms of the Galaxy Fold. It is not the most robust device on the market. Actually, Samsung has a video on YouTube you can watch which tells you how to take care of your Galaxy Fold device because, yes, the display inside is not Gorilla Glass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's plastic, okay? It's bendable. It's a foldable display. Do not put this near that because the sand or anything like that can scratch this plastic. It is very sensitive. So what I recommend is carry a microfiber pouch. I'm using an Oakley pouch that I have with my glasses. I carry this inside there and I put it in my pocket. I'm just being extra careful because A, it's not my phone, it has to go back in a couple weeks, and B, I don't want to damage the display. So I do this extra precaution. Again, I'm treating this like a fine piece of jewelry or a high-end device. I'm not treating it like my normal smartphone that I can beat around, throw around, and not care. You do have to take precautions with the Galaxy Fold. Also, I got to talk about what comes inside the box because Samsung, I applaud what they did. This is the first time I've seen a company do this. They included wireless earbuds in the package. Finally, if you're getting rid of the headphone jack, which I don't see here, wireless earbuds. Not a bad deal, Samsung. Thank you for that. I mean, of course, you're spending a premium on the device. I'm glad they included this. Also, the carbon fiber cases, or I think it's carbon fiber. It looks like carbon fiber. Maybe it's plastic, I don't know. You can tell me in the comment section below, but I like they did that as well. If I want to be a nitpicker, they could have included a Galaxy Fold pouch, maybe a nice suede pouch to kind of keep it protected, but I got my Oakley pouch, so I'm happy with that. It allows you to get that whole essence of the Galaxy experience without having to buy extra accessories because they know that you're paying a premium. Also, they have this special like concierge service or premium service where if you have any questions on how to use the device or any issues with the phone at all, they can it's kind of like VIP service because they're treating it almost like a sort of Virtu style phone, which not a bad deal. And by the way, Samsung, I applaud you for one thing, is sticking to your guns. You could have said, I'm sorry, pull the phone and never come out with it for the next version and waited 2 years later. You stuck to your guns. I appreciate that. Good job. Okay, but to wrap this up, I do have to say that the Fold is an enjoyable device to use. It's an expensive device. And could it be your primary device? Depends on what you do. Now, if you're a very active person, you're out there running and jogging and exercising, and you go, I want to take this out and do those things with it, don't. Do yourself a favor. This phone's almost 2,000 US dollars, 3,000 Singapore dollars. Don't do that. Get a small phone, a secondary phone to do those activities with. This is a great device if you're in the office and you're in a board meetings, or if you want to dress up and go out on the town, you're going to really like this. As soon as you show them the display, their eyes are like, whoa, because it's unlike anything we have seen before. This is the future of smartphones. Samsung, I love what they did with it. Like I said before, it's not perfect, it could be improved. The cameras on it aren't the best out there on the marketplace now. I mean, with other options out there, I won't say the cameras are grade A. They're good enough for your daily photos, video content you're going to enjoy, browsing, media. It's a home run with this. And I got to tell you, Samsung has really impressed me. I love it. I just like it. I like the phone. I like it. Simple as that. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the Galaxy Fold. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like always, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook. Until the next one, take care.